Have you ever noticed the sun glowing yellow in the morning sky and wondered why it doesn't shine white, as it truly is? Why does this familiar star, so constant and bright, appear to wear a golden cloak just for our eyes? Tonight, we'll drift together through the mysteries of light, atmosphere, and perception to uncover the secret behind the sun's warm hue. Before we begin this cosmic journey, I invite you to subscribe to The Thoughtful Night and leave a comment telling me where in the world you're watching tonight. Let your mind settle, your body relax, and your imagination wander as we follow the sun's light from the vast emptiness of space to the delicate, shifting veil of our atmosphere. Picture the morning horizon, soft and hazy, as sunlight spills like liquid gold across the world. Imagine each ray of light stretching across millions of kilometers, traveling from the heart of the sun, unbroken and pure, until it meets the gentle, invisible curtain of air that envelopes our planet. The sun we see is not exactly what it seems. It is filtered, shaped, and transformed in ways that are both scientific and deeply poetic. Tonight, we will explore how the sun's light dances with the sky, how our eyes perceive its warmth, and how cultures across time have seen its golden glow. We'll travel from the physics of photons to the quiet wonder of sunrise, and in doing so, we'll find that the sun's yellow light is as much a story of Earth and perception as it is of the star itself. So, take a deep breath, feel the quiet hum of the world around you, and let us begin this gentle journey toward understanding why the sun looks yellow from our home beneath the sky. Even before the first stirrings of morning, the sun hovers just beyond the horizon, a silent promise of warmth and light. Its glow spills gently over the world, brushing rooftops and treetops with a soft, golden caress. To our eyes, it seems simple, familiar, even comforting. A yellow disk hanging in the sky, steadfast and predictable. Yet beneath this everyday appearance lies a deeper truth, a reality that stretches across millions of kilometers and defies the ease of perception. When we call the sun yellow, we are speaking of its appearance as filtered through our atmosphere, as shaped by the air, dust, and moisture that envelope our planet. In the vast emptiness of space, far beyond the reach of wind or cloud, the sun is not yellow at all. It shines with a brilliant, almost piercing white, a purity born of nuclear fire and photons racing outward in every direction. Its light contains all colors, a full spectrum invisible to the naked eye in its completeness, yet subtly rearranged as it journeys toward Earth. Imagine the sun not as a static disk in the sky but as a massive, living heart of the solar system. Each moment, it emits trillions of photons, tiny packets of energy, which travel through space at a speed that seems incomprehensible, racing across 93 million miles in just over 8 minutes. These photons are the very essence of sunlight, carrying warmth and life, and each one contains the full blend of visible colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet, layered together so perfectly that the sun's natural appearance is white. Yet when sunlight reaches our atmosphere, the journey transforms. The air, often invisible, is composed of countless molecules, and these interact subtly with the waves of light. Some wavelengths scatter, some pass straight through, and in this delicate dance, our perception of the sun shifts. What we call yellow is not an inherent property of the star itself, but a consequence of the world between us and it. The same rays, uninterrupted in space, would appear as pure white to an observer beyond the influence of Earth's air. There is a gentle poetry in this. The sun we see is not the sun itself but a collaboration between the star and our planet, a subtle negotiation between light and atmosphere. Each morning, as dawn stretches across valleys and city streets, the light that reaches our eyes has already traveled an immense distance and interacted with the air, changing ever so slightly, painting the world in tones that are both real and perceived. In the golden glow that we see, there is both physics and wonder, science and perception dancing together in perfect balance. Our minds often simplify this exchange. We call the sun yellow because our senses have learned to interpret it as such, and the stories we tell ourselves reinforce that image. Poets have written of golden suns, painters have captured amber horizons, and children have drawn yellow circles in the sky. And yet, if we could strip away the atmosphere, If we could stand on a spacecraft or float above the clouds, the sun would reveal its true self, almost blindingly white, holding within it every color that it ever casts upon our world. As we consider the journey of sunlight, we realize that the sun we see is shaped not only by its own brilliance but also by the medium it travels through and the lenses through which we view it. Light is not merely a straight path from star to eye. It is a living interaction, a subtle negotiation between matter and perception, between the physics of photons and the consciousness of observers. This interplay is why the sun can feel both constant and mysterious, familiar yet elusive, simple yet profound. Tonight, as we trace the path of sunlight from the heart of the star to our own eyes, we will begin to understand the many ways our atmosphere bends, scatters, and colors the sun's rays. We will explore why the sky itself is blue, why morning and evening bring amber and crimson light, and why, in all these subtle changes, the sun appears to us as yellow. The journey ahead is gentle, a slow unraveling of the invisible processes that paint our sky, revealing a world where science and wonder coexist in quiet harmony. And so, with the sun just beginning to lift above the horizon, its light brushing softly against the earth, we prepare to follow it further. From the empty expanse of space into the soft embrace of our atmosphere, we will discover how every photon, every wave of light, contributes to the golden glow we take for granted. The next step in this journey leads us deeper into the nature of light itself, where colors merge, waves ripple, and the spectrum reveals the secrets that make our sun appear the way it does. Light is not merely brightness. It is a river, flowing endlessly from the sun, carrying with it the full spectrum of colors hidden in plain sight. Each photon is a tiny traveler, a messenger racing across space, vibrating in ways that our eyes cannot fully perceive until they are filtered through the prism of our world. To consider sunlight in its fullness is to imagine a river of energy, streaming unbroken through the emptiness between stars, indifferent to gravity, indifferent to space, yet profoundly shaping the life it touches upon arrival. As this river of light approaches Earth, it is already a composition of countless wavelengths. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet coexist, layered like a rainbow folded into itself, seamless and invisible to the naked eye. In outer space, this mixture produces the sun's true color, white. It is not a single tone but a perfect symphony of visible wavelengths, each one carrying a fragment of energy, a note in the sun's eternal song. To see it as anything else is to misunderstand the delicate interplay between light, space, and the matter it encounters. We can imagine these waves as gentle ripples, each oscillation a pulse, a vibration that moves through the void. Some wavelengths are longer, like lazy swells on a calm ocean, stretching toward red and orange. Others are shorter, flickering quickly like the tiniest shivers, reaching into blue and violet. Together, they create balance, a subtle harmony that, when combined, gives the sun its brilliance. The full river of light is beautiful in its quiet complexity, a spectrum waiting to be divided, scattered, and transformed by the journey ahead. It is here, at the boundary between space and earth, that the river of light begins to encounter resistance, however gentle. Our atmosphere, the invisible envelope of gases surrounding the planet, begins to interact with sunlight in ways that are subtle yet profound. The air itself is not static. It is layered, dynamic, and alive, filled with molecules, dust, and tiny particles that nudge the light as it passes. The blue waves scatter more easily, bending in all directions, while the longer, red and yellow waves continue straight toward the surface. In this interaction, the colors within sunlight begin to separate, like the first whispers of a song teasing the ear before it is fully played. The spectrum of sunlight is therefore not a rigid order but a malleable stream, reshaped by every encounter along its path. Imagine standing beside this river, feeling its energy brush past you in a quiet, invisible current. Every photon carries the imprint of its journey, molded by both the distance it traveled and the air it must pass through. When we gaze at the sun from Earth, the yellow we perceive is the result of this transformation, the gentle filtering of the river by the layers of our atmosphere. The sun itself has not changed. It is our world that has altered how we see it. White light, in its raw state, is like a perfect canvas, holding every color without preference. The magic occurs when it meets a medium that scatters, absorbs, or bends its waves. Our atmosphere is such a medium, invisible yet persistent, subtly dividing sunlight and painting the sky in ways we can see and feel. Each moment of daylight is a collaboration between the sun and the earth, a quiet conversation between the vast expanse of space and the fragile envelope of air that allows life to exist. The yellow disk we call the sun is not a simple truth but a compromise between reality and perception, a delicate negotiation orchestrated by nature itself. Consider how different this river of light would appear if the Earth were absent, or if we could travel above its atmosphere. Astronauts in orbit see a sun of piercing white, a star unfiltered and unyielding, radiating all colors simultaneously. There is no golden halo, no yellow tint, no amber glow, just pure, unaltered light. It is only within the embrace of our planet's air that sunlight begins its transformation, scattering and bending, shaping our perception in ways both predictable and beautiful. Yet, even as light is reshaped, the process is neither harsh nor mechanical. There is a rhythm to it, a gentle cadence that mirrors the movement of clouds and the sway of trees in the breeze. Sunlight becomes a painter, sketching subtle gradients across the sky, brushing horizons with tints of gold and amber, guiding our eyes to see the sun as a colored star rather than the white brilliance it truly is. In this interplay of physics and perception, science and poetry merge seamlessly, offering a narrative that is as meditative as it is factual. As we follow this river further, we begin to understand why the sun appears yellow, why morning light feels warm, and why the midday sky shimmers in blue. The journey of each photon, from the sun's fiery surface through the emptiness of space and finally through the living air of Earth, is a story of transformation. And this story is just beginning. In the next chapter, we will explore the atmosphere in greater depth, understanding how its layers, like soft veils, shape the light that reaches our eyes and gives the sun its familiar golden hue. In this gentle unfolding, we see that sunlight is not a static gift but a dynamic process, a river of energy continually shaped by the world it encounters. By tracing its path, we come closer to appreciating the subtle marvels of our sky, the quiet science of perception, and the wonder of the star that sustains life without ever asking for recognition. The river flows onward, and so must we, following each wave and color as it meets the gentle touch of our atmosphere. The air around us is more than empty space. It is a living, shifting veil, a gentle shroud that shapes the very light we see. From the moment sunlight reaches Earth, it begins an intimate dance with this atmosphere, an invisible partner composed of nitrogen, oxygen, and countless tiny particles, each poised to nudge and scatter the waves of light. The sky itself is the stage for this performance, and we are the quiet observers, watching as the sun's rays are bent, diffused, and painted across the horizon. Imagine the atmosphere as layers of silk, thin and light, yet capable of bending and filtering light in delicate ways. As sunlight pours down, shorter wavelengths, the blues and violets, scatter in all directions, giving the sky its familiar azure hue. The longer waves, reds, oranges, and yellows, pass more directly, continuing their path to the surface, allowing us to see the sun as a golden disk rather than the brilliant white star it truly is. This process, known to scientists as Rayleigh scattering, is both precise and poetic, an elegant interaction between photons and the molecules of our world. Scattering is not random. It follows subtle rules of physics. The smaller the wavelength, the more it is deflected. Blue light, with its short, lively waves, is flung outward, filling the sky with soft, cool tones. Red and yellow light, stretching longer, travel more faithfully in straight lines, arriving at our eyes to color the sun itself. It is as if the atmosphere is whispering to the sun, coaxing it into the gentle yellows and golds we recognize at midday, a soft reminder that perception is always shaped by the medium through which it passes. During this process, sunlight becomes more than mere brightness. It transforms into an ever-changing palette. Dust, water droplets, and microscopic aerosols add subtle variation, bending and reflecting light in ways that shift with humidity, temperature, and elevation. The sun's apparent color is therefore not fixed, but a delicate balance of waves and scattering, a quiet conversation between the vast energy of the star and the tender embrace of our atmosphere. In this interplay, science and poetry coexist, and every glance at the sun carries a story written in light. As the sun climbs higher or sinks lower in the sky, the journey of its rays changes. At noon, when sunlight falls almost straight down, the golden tint is modest, and the sun's yellow is soft and restrained. But as it approaches the horizon, its light must pass through more atmosphere, traveling longer paths, scattering more of the shorter wavelengths along the way. The result is a deepening of color, a warmer, richer hue that shifts toward amber, orange, and sometimes crimson. The atmosphere, in its gentle touch, transforms the sun into a living canvas, responsive to its angle and intensity. Even though this scattering occurs in every direction, our eyes perceive the effect as a concentrated yellow on the sun itself and blue across the sky. This duality, golden sun, sapphire sky, is a direct result of the atmosphere's selective influence, a reminder that the world we see is not the world itself, but the world mediated through invisible forces. It is a humbling realization. The sun is both constant and variable, familiar yet shaped anew with every passing hour and every shifting cloud. Beyond the mechanics, there is wonder in understanding why the sun appears this way. Knowing the role of the atmosphere does not diminish its beauty. It enriches it. Each time you glance upward, you are witnessing a delicate negotiation between energy, matter, and perception. The air, almost imperceptible, becomes an artist, bending and scattering sunlight with an invisible brush, ensuring that our sun glows with the warmth and familiarity that has inspired countless poets, painters, and dreamers. As you watch the sun sink toward the horizon, notice how the color deepens, how the edges soften, and how the sky itself seems to glow in response. This is the same scattering that creates blue skies during the day and warm golds at sunset. Each layer of air, each molecule, contributes to the intricate balance that allows our eyes to perceive the sun as yellow. Without it, the sun would remain a harsh, unfiltered white, brilliant and alien, lacking the comforting tones that make it feel so intimately human. The journey of sunlight through the atmosphere is ongoing, a daily miracle that we often take for granted. It teaches patience, attention, and quiet observation, revealing the intricate ways in which nature molds perception. Every morning, every sunset, is a subtle lesson in physics, a reminder that beauty emerges not only from the sun itself, but from the interplay of forces around it. Soon, as the sun approaches the horizon, the atmosphere's influence grows stronger, scattering even more light and enriching the palette of the sky. The transformation becomes more vivid, more emotionally resonant, and more poetic, offering a glimpse of the profound artistry hidden within natural processes. In the next chapter, we will follow this journey to the edges of day and night, exploring how sunrise and sunset reveal the atmosphere as a painter, creating the breathtaking reds, oranges, and golds that inspire wonder in every observer. There is a sacred hush in the moments when the sun approaches the horizon, a delicate pause between night and day, when the sky itself seems to hold its breath. Light, having traveled millions of kilometers from the sun's core, now takes a longer, more winding path through Earth's atmosphere. Each photon bends, scatters, and diffuses in a dance orchestrated by countless molecules of air and tiny particles suspended in the sky. The result is a transformation both subtle and breathtaking. The sun glows not with stark white, but with deep gold, soft amber, and sometimes the fiery reds that seem to ignite the edges of clouds. At sunrise, the first rays pierce the early mist, brushing mountaintops and city streets with gentle warmth. Shadows stretch long and slow, and the light carries a richness that feels almost sacred. This is no accident. As sunlight passes through the thick layer of atmosphere near the horizon, shorter wavelengths, the blues and violets, scatter outward, leaving the longer, warmer wavelengths to dominate what reaches our eyes. The sun takes on a color that is at once comforting, familiar, and deeply evocative. Its glow tells stories of beginnings, of the promise of a new day, and of the gentle rhythms of the natural world. Evening brings a mirror of this process. At sunset, the sun's rays must travel an even greater distance, stretching through more air, more dust, and more moisture than at any other time of day. The scattering intensifies, enhancing reds, oranges, and golds, while blue light diffuses across the sky, painting vast expanses in gradients of cerulean and indigo. The atmosphere becomes both filter and brush, shaping sunlight into a masterpiece that exists for only a fleeting moment before fading into twilight. Every sunset is a unique work of art, never repeated, influenced by humidity, dust, and the faintest movements of air. It is tempting to see these colors as mere beauty, but they are also a living demonstration of physics in motion. Each photon, each wave of light, responds to the conditions of the atmosphere, and our eyes, in turn, interpret these waves to create the images we perceive. We might call it yellow, amber, or red, but these labels are only a shadow of the complexity behind what we actually see. The true story lies in the journey. Light traveling through air, bending and scattering, shaping perception with a quiet, invisible hand. Sunrise and sunset are also deeply emotional experiences, stirring feelings that seem to transcend science. The golden light can evoke serenity, nostalgia, or a quiet sense of awe. It is no coincidence that humans across cultures have revered these moments, assigning them sacred meaning, inspiration, and even rituals. In these fleeting hours, the interplay of light and atmosphere teaches patience and mindfulness, inviting us to pause, to notice, and to marvel at the subtleties of our world. Consider the horizon as a living canvas, with the atmosphere as the painter. Every layer of air, every particle of dust, contributes to the palette. Blue scatters, leaving reds and yellows to dominate. Moisture softens edges, creating gradients and halos. Clouds catch and reflect light, adding depth and texture. No two sunrises or sunsets are identical, because the medium is always shifting, always responding to weather, temperature, and the invisible rhythms of the earth. The sun's apparent color is a collaboration, a dialogue between the star and the planet it illuminates. Even in cities, where buildings interrupt the horizon, the sun's colors remind us of the subtle processes that govern perception. A golden glow spilling over rooftops, a deep amber halo around a cloud, a crimson reflection in a window. All are evidence of scattering and filtering at work, shaping the sun's appearance in ways both scientific and poetic. In these moments, we begin to see the atmosphere not as empty space but as an active participant in our perception of light, a silent artist painting the sky anew with every day. As the sun continues its descent, light interacts more strongly with the horizon, increasing scattering and transforming the sky into a theater of color. Shadows lengthen, edges blur, and warm tones dominate until the sun dips below the horizon. The rich reds and oranges fade gradually, leaving the lingering glow of twilight, a bridge between day and night. This interplay between light and atmosphere is a constant reminder that perception is never simple. The sun appears yellow, amber, or red not by its own design, but because of the gentle touch of air and the patient eye of the observer. In these daily displays, we also catch a glimpse of the principles that govern all of our perception of sunlight. Scattering, absorption, and the path length of light are not abstract concepts. They are living phenomena, actively shaping the beauty we experience. Every sunrise and sunset is an example of the physics of light translated into human experience, merging the rigor of science with the subtlety of art. From the first pale gold of morning to the deep crimson of evening, the atmosphere sculpts the sun's light into forms that captivate both eyes and imagination. And as we move from observing these moments to understanding them, we find that perception is both physical and emotional, tangible and poetic. The next chapter will explore the human eye itself, how it interprets scattered sunlight, and how our perception of the sun's color is completed in the quiet, intricate machinery of vision. The sun that graces our sky is not simply a star we observe. It is a conversation between light and sight, a delicate interplay between photons and the intricate machinery of our eyes. When sunlight, filtered and scattered by the atmosphere, reaches Earth, it carries with it the signature of its journey. Yet the story is incomplete until it meets the observer, the human eye, where perception transforms waves into color, intensity, and warmth. What we call the yellow sun is as much a creation of our vision as it is of the atmosphere. Within the eye, light encounters the retina, a soft layer of cells tuned exquisitely to detect its nuances. Among these cells are cones, specialized photoreceptors sensitive to different wavelengths. Some cones respond to reds, others to greens, and others to blues. Together, they interpret the mixture of wavelengths delivered by scattered sunlight, converting vibrations into electrical signals that travel along the optic nerve to the brain. This delicate process is largely unconscious, yet it determines every subtle hue we perceive, from the golden midday sun to the amber streaks of sunset. The brain, in turn, plays a quiet but powerful role. It does not merely record wavelengths. It interprets them, compares them, and assigns meaning. A sun that is physically white may appear yellow because our eyes and brain are attuned to the scattering of shorter wavelengths and the dominance of longer ones. In a way, perception is a bridge, translating the language of photons into the poetry of experience. The warmth we feel in yellow light is partly emotional, partly physiological, a blend of sight, cognition, and the subconscious recognition of familiar patterns. Brightness also shapes perception. When the sun is high in the sky, it is overwhelming in intensity, and our cones adjust, modulating their response to prevent overstimulation. The scattering of blue light across the sky further influences our perception, enhancing the contrast and reinforcing the golden quality of direct sunlight. In this intricate balance of intensity, wavelength, and scattering, the sun's yellow glow emerges as a natural consequence, a harmonious result of physics meeting biology. The perception of sunlight is dynamic, shifting with time, angle, and environmental conditions. Morning light, filtered through haze or mist, may appear paler, soft, and tender, while the sun at midday can look more vivid, almost glaring, yet still slightly golden due to the residual scattering of shorter wavelengths. Evening light, having traversed the longest atmospheric path, deepens to amber, orange, and red. This is not magic, but the elegant collaboration between atmospheric physics and human vision, quietly orchestrating the colors that have inspired artists, poets, and dreamers for millennia. Even beyond wavelength and intensity, the human eye contributes to the perception of warmth and comfort. Subtle adaptation mechanisms allow our vision to adjust to ambient light, smoothing transitions and enhancing contrasts. The brain fills gaps, interpreting gradients of color and shadow, ensuring that the sun appears both bright and gentle, commanding yet approachable. In this way, perception is not a passive recording but an active interpretation, a co-creation between light and observer. Cultures throughout history have recognized this interplay, often without understanding the science behind it. The sun's golden appearance has inspired myths, rituals, and symbols, all acknowledging that the light that reaches us is filtered, transformed, and imbued with meaning. Even now, our fascination with sunrise and sunset reflects an unconscious understanding of these subtle processes, an appreciation of the dialogue between sun, atmosphere, and eye. Science reveals the mechanism, but poetry captures the experience, and together they allow us to see the sun as both a physical reality and a source of wonder. To consider the sun from this perspective is to appreciate that perception is inseparable from reality. The golden disk we take for granted is not merely a feature of the star, nor simply an artifact of scattering. It is the result of a journey that includes photons, air molecules, cones, and brain circuits. The color we see is a narrative, a story of interaction and transformation, revealing that the universe is not just out there, but also within us, interpreted and made meaningful through our senses. As we trace this understanding back through history, it becomes clear that human perception has always been central to our experience of the sun. From ancient observers to modern astronomers, our eyes have interpreted the star's light in ways that reflect both biology and environment. The yellow sun is thus a fusion of cosmic energy, atmospheric conditions, and the exquisite design of human vision, a reminder that science and wonder coexist in every glance upward. Next, we will explore how these perceptions influenced human culture, art, and myth. How did ancient civilizations interpret the sun's golden glow? What stories and symbols arose from this natural phenomenon, and how did they shape our understanding of light long before modern physics? The journey from observation to imagination reveals the deep connection between our biology and our desire to find meaning in the skies above. Long before telescopes, satellites, or the physics of light, humans looked up and saw a golden sun, a fiery disk suspended in the sky, powerful yet familiar. Its warmth touched faces and fields, its light guided daily rhythms, and its colors inspired awe. Across deserts, mountains, and river valleys, civilizations interpreted this star not just as a celestial body, but as a living presence, an emblem of life, energy, and the unseen forces that shaped their world. The yellow sun was universal, yet it carried infinite stories, each culture weaving its own meaning into the hues cast across the sky. Ancient eyes were attuned to the sun in ways modern science has only begun to explain. Without instruments or theoretical models, humans recognized patterns in its color, brightness, and motion. They noticed that the sun seemed warmer in hue at dawn and dusk, softer at noon, and sometimes wrapped in red or orange when clouds or dust filled the sky. These observations became the foundation of myths, rituals, and calendars, reflecting an intimate knowledge of the sun's cycles long before we could quantify the scattering of light or the composition of the atmosphere. Consider the Egyptians, who worshipped Ra, the sun god, often depicted as a radiant disk glowing gold above the horizon. To them, the sun was life itself, a divine presence traveling across the sky each day, bringing both illumination and order. In Mesopotamia, the golden sun was associated with divinity and kingship, a source of power and protection. Ancient myths in cultures across the world, from the solar deities of India to the golden chariots of Greece, reflect an understanding that the sun's yellow hue was central to its significance. They may not have known about scattering or wavelengths, but they sensed, through observation and imagination, the way sunlight shaped the world and human experience. Art and architecture further celebrated this golden Sunday. Temples were oriented to capture the first rays of sunrise on solstices, and paintings depicted sunlight spilling across mountains, fields, and rivers in the soft amber tones so familiar to the human eye. Artists and observers translated atmospheric physics into culture, encoding the subtle dance of light and air into stories, symbols, and structures. Every sunrise and sunset became both a daily spectacle and a cultural marker, connecting humans to the sky in ways that were deeply emotional, spiritual, and practical. The sun's yellow appearance also shaped language and metaphor. Gold, amber, and honey became synonymous with sunlight, while expressions of warmth, guidance, and enlightenment often drew from the golden imagery of the sky. Even in poetry, the sun was rarely white. It was described as golden, radiant, and amber, reflecting the perception shared by humans across centuries. In this way, the simple act of seeing the sun as yellow was inseparable from human creativity and interpretation. Yet, as remarkable as these cultural expressions are, they were grounded in keen observation. People understood that the sun's color was not fixed. It shifted with the time of day, the season, and the weather. These subtle changes were recorded in stories, calendars, and rituals, an empirical understanding disguised as myth. Even without scientific terminology, ancient eyes and minds recognized the interplay between light, sky, and perception, and they found wonder in its daily rhythm. The golden sun became a bridge between observation and imagination, connecting humanity to the cosmos through both perception and culture. The color yellow was not arbitrary. It reflected the consistent way sunlight interacts with Earth's atmosphere, filtered through human vision, and interpreted through the lens of meaning and memory. In this fusion of science and symbolism, we see that the sun's hue has always been more than physics. It has been a source of inspiration, a measure of time, and a silent teacher, inviting curiosity and reverence. As we move from these ancient observations to modern science, we will discover the deeper truths behind the sun's color. Satellites and space probes reveal the sun's true, nearly white brilliance, and the principles of light scattering, human vision, and atmospheric physics come together to explain what ancient eyes perceived so beautifully without the language of modern science. Yet even as we uncover these truths, the golden sun of myth and memory continues to remind us that perception, culture, and wonder are inseparable from the simple act of looking at the sky. The story of the sun is thus both timeless and evolving, a reflection of how humans have always engaged with the cosmos. What we see, the yellow disk of our sun, is not just a scientific phenomenon, but a symbol, a story, and a shared experience across generations. And as we prepare to explore modern science and the stellar truths behind this familiar star, we carry forward both the knowledge of observation and the poetic beauty that has always accompanied it. Beyond myths and golden imagery, modern science invites us to look deeper, revealing the sun as it truly is, an almost pure white star, radiating all colors across the visible spectrum. Satellites and space telescopes orbit above Earth's atmosphere, free from the filtering and scattering that paint our skies. To these instruments, the sun is no longer amber or yellow, but a brilliant, luminous sphere of white light, its spectrum a symphony of wavelengths blending seamlessly. This is the sun in its essence, the source of all warmth and color, unaltered and unmediated by the air that surrounds our planet. The sun's true color emerges from its blackbody radiation, a fundamental principle of physics. Its surface, at approximately 5,500 degrees Celsius, emits light across the spectrum in a pattern that peaks in the greenish portion, though all visible wavelengths are present. When these colors mix, the resulting perception is nearly white. It is a quiet miracle of balance. Every photon, every wave, contributing to a harmonious whole, a brilliance so complete that it becomes invisible in its complexity. To see it as anything else is the result of Earth's atmosphere and the delicate processes of human perception. Space probes like SOHO and SDO allow us to observe the sun without the influence of air or dust. Their instruments reveal the sun's true spectrum, confirming what theoretical physics predicts. The sun emits light that, in isolation, is not yellow but white. Even the solar flares, prominences, and sunspots, with their dramatic contrasts, exist within this broader spectral truth. The sun, as it exists in space, is consistent, unchanging in color yet dynamic in activity, a reminder that our earthly perception is shaped not by the star itself, but by the medium through which we view it. Yet, while science provides these truths, it does not diminish the poetry of the sun we experience on Earth. The golden hues of sunrise, the amber light of midday, and the crimson glow of sunset remain deeply meaningful. What has changed is our understanding of why these colors appear, the scattering of shorter wavelengths, the path length through the atmosphere, and the filtering effect of air, dust, and moisture. The yellow sun of our perception is no longer a mystery. It is the result of a cosmic conversation between light, air, and eye. This knowledge also deepens our appreciation for human ingenuity. For centuries, observers recorded, interpreted, and celebrated the sun without instruments, capturing its behavior and hues through art, architecture, and ritual. Now, with the tools of modern science, we can trace the photons from the sun's surface to the detectors of space probes, and finally to our own eyes, understanding both the mechanics and the beauty of the light we see. The sun is both constant and complex, its true color a revelation of physics, and its perceived color a testament to the intimate connection between our world and our senses. Blackbody radiation, the principle behind the sun's spectrum, teaches us more than color. It explains the nature of light itself. Each star radiates according to its temperature, emitting energy across the spectrum in predictable patterns. The sun, a relatively ordinary G-type star, has a spectrum that peaks in the green-yellow region but includes all visible colors. When these colors mix, the resulting white light appears almost pure, demonstrating the elegance of nature's laws and the precision of physical principles that govern the cosmos. Even as science clarifies these truths, there is space for wonder. Observing the sun from Earth, we see the yellow disk, the amber glow, and the crimson sunsets, and we understand that these experiences are shaped by scattering, perception, and context. Yet the underlying brilliance, The white light that pervades the spectrum reminds us of the sun's immense energy, the photons racing across 93 million miles, and the delicate conditions that allow life on Earth to perceive it in this comforting way. It is a balance between absolute reality and subjective experience, a duality that encourages both curiosity and meditation. Modern astronomy, therefore, does not replace the poetry of the sun. It enhances it. We can appreciate the accuracy of blackbody radiation, the role of Rayleigh scattering, and the nature of photons while also marveling at the golden glow that inspired civilizations, the amber warmth that fills our mornings, and the crimson light that signals the day's end. Science and wonder coexist, offering both explanation and inspiration, revealing that understanding does not diminish beauty but deepens it. As we move beyond this revelation into the subtle shifts of color throughout the day, we see that the sun's appearance is never static. The sky itself, the scattering of light, and the perspective of the observer all contribute to variations in the sun's hue. In the next chapter, we will explore these shifting colors in detail, the golden hours of morning and evening, the pale light of midday, and the ways dust, humidity, and even pollution add nuance to the ever-changing sky. In this exploration, we continue to see the dance of physics, perception, and natural artistry that makes our yellow sun so mesmerizing. The sky is never the same from one moment to the next. As the sun journeys across the heavens, the quality of light transforms, revealing subtle shifts that often go unnoticed. Morning brings a pale, tender glow. Midday offers a bright, almost stark brilliance. Evening wraps the world in deep gold and crimson. These variations are more than fleeting beauty. They are the result of a delicate interplay between the sun, Earth's atmosphere, and the observer. In every glance at the sky, there is a story of photons bending, scattering, and dancing through the air, carrying with them the poetry of the universe. During the golden hours, shortly after sunrise and before sunset, the sun appears warm and soft, its light diffused by the long path through the atmosphere. Blue wavelengths scatter outward, leaving reds, oranges, and yellows to dominate. Shadows lengthen, surfaces glow, and the world takes on a quiet intimacy, a sense of calm that encourages reflection. Photographers, painters, and poets have long revered this time of day, capturing its subtle gradients, knowing that the sun's warmth is as much a product of physics as it is of perception. By contrast, midday sunlight is bright and almost white, filtered only slightly by the atmosphere. Here, the sun climbs high, and the path through air is shorter, scattering less blue light in comparison to dawn or dusk. Shadows shrink, contrasts sharpen, and the intensity can feel stark. Yet even then, tiny shifts in humidity, dust, or clouds add subtle nuances, softening edges or creating halos of pale gold. The same sun, unchanged at its core, presents an entirely different experience depending on the time, the sky, and the air it passes through. Seasonal changes further influence the sun's appearance. In summer, the higher sun angles deliver intense, nearly vertical rays, producing strong light and sharp shadows. Winter offers a lower sun, longer paths through the atmosphere, and softer hues. These variations are amplified by the scattering of light, giving rise to the pale, cool tones of winter mornings and the richer golds of summer evenings. Even the length of daylight subtly shifts our perception, guiding the rhythms of life, planting seeds of routine and expectation, and coloring our emotional experience of time itself. Humidity, dust, and pollution add another layer of variation, like invisible brushstrokes across the sky. Tiny particles scatter light differently depending on size and composition, sometimes deepening reds and oranges, sometimes softening blues, sometimes diffusing the light entirely into a pale wash. A humid morning may veil the sun in gentle gold, while a dusty evening sky may blaze with intense crimson. These microchanges are subtle, yet they remind us that the sun's apparent color is never fixed, but a living interaction between light, air, and perception. Even within a single day, the sky transforms continuously. The cool blue of late morning gradually warms toward midday, shifts toward amber in the afternoon, and finally deepens to fiery hues as the sun nears the horizon. Twilight follows, a delicate transition when the sun has set yet residual light lingers, casting purples, pinks, and soft oranges across clouds. This prolonged fading is nature's whisper, a reminder that the sun's journey does not end with disappearance but continues subtly, painting the sky long after its disk has dipped below the horizon. Observing these changes invites quiet mindfulness. By paying attention to the subtle shifts, we notice the ways the atmosphere filters light differently at every hour and in every season. We see that the sun's yellow is only one shade among many, a highlight in a spectrum that includes the pale pinks of dawn, the brilliant white of noon, and the deep reds of evening. Each perception is valid, each moment unique, shaped by physics, environment, and our own biology. These shifting colors are also a gentle reminder of our connection to Earth. The sun we perceive is intimately tied to our atmosphere, which scatters, filters, and bends its light, creating the palette we experience. By contrast, astronauts see the sun as brilliant white, a star unaltered by air or dust. From our vantage point, every sunrise, every golden hour, every twilight is a reminder that we live within an environment that both sustains and interprets the light we see, making the sun part of our daily experience in a way that is uniquely human. As we prepare to look beyond our atmosphere, imagining the sun as it appears in space, it becomes clear that our perception is a blend of physics, biology, and wonder. The shifting colors we witness each day are the result of countless subtle processes working in harmony. Scattering, angle, wavelength, humidity, and the unique sensitivity of our eyes. Understanding these processes does not diminish the beauty of a golden sky. It enhances it, revealing the intricate connections that shape the world we experience. Next, we will journey beyond Earth itself, observing the sun as astronauts do, and reflecting on the contrast between the white brilliance of space and the warm, golden glow that fills our skies. This exploration will deepen our appreciation for the interplay between cosmic reality and human perception, reminding us that the sun is both a scientific marvel and a source of timeless wonder. Imagine drifting above Earth, leaving the familiar blue sky behind, where the air thins and the atmosphere no longer softens the sun's rays. Here, in the quiet expanse of space, the sun appears different, brilliant, piercing, almost dazzling in its purity. No yellow glow cushions its brilliance. No amber haze softens its edges. It is a sphere of radiant white, a star unfiltered, emitting light in its full spectrum, unbound by the layers of air that sculpted it for observers on Earth. Astronauts describe it as intense and almost shocking in its clarity, a reminder that our daily perception is shaped profoundly by the gentle touch of our planet. In orbit, the contrast is immediate. The sky itself is black, infinite, and silent, a perfect canvas against which the sun's true color shines unaltered. There is no blue dome, no gradients of dawn or sunset, no softened gold, just white light, stark and brilliant, revealing the full spectrum that our eyes on Earth rarely see. Here, perception is stripped to the essentials. Light is not interpreted, filtered, or diffused. It is raw and absolute, a reminder of the cosmic scale from which our planetary experiences arise. Yet even in this starkness, there is wonder. Observing the sun from space illuminates its physical reality in a way that deepens, rather than diminishes, the poetry of earthbound perception. Each photon, emitted from the sun's surface and traveling 93 million miles, arrives unaltered, carrying energy that sustains life, drives weather, and paints our skies with the familiar yellows and golds we have always cherished. From this vantage, we understand that the yellow sun we see is not a flaw, nor a misperception, but the result of a delicate collaboration between light, atmosphere, and observer. The contrast between Earth and space is profound. On our planet, the sun's color is mediated by scattering, by the layers of air that bend and filter its rays. In space, the sun is closer to the truth of physics, a pure white sphere radiating across the visible spectrum. And yet, it is precisely this contrast that reminds us of our intimate connection with Earth. We perceive yellow because we live within an atmosphere, because our eyes interpret scattered light, and because the world around us shapes the context in which we experience the star. Our sun is both the same object in space and a uniquely human experience on Earth. Even as we marvel at the sun's stark brilliance beyond our atmosphere, we notice the subtleties that our planet adds. Dust, humidity, and air molecules on Earth transform that raw white light into a palette of yellows, oranges, and reds. Every sunrise, every sunset, every golden midday moment is a manifestation of this interaction, a bridge between cosmic reality and human perception. Space reveals the sun's pure spectrum. Earth translates it into warmth, comfort, and beauty, a reminder that perception is an active, collaborative process. Astronauts often speak of this duality, the awe of seeing the sun in its white brilliance contrasted with the memory of terrestrial golden light. It evokes reflection, a meditation on perspective, and a gentle reminder that what we see depends not only on the object itself but on the medium and the observer. The sun, in its perfection, does not change. Our understanding and experience of it are shaped by where we stand, the air we breathe, and the eyes we look through. There is also a poetic resonance in knowing that every photon reaching Earth has passed through this journey. From the sun's surface, across the void of space, through the atmosphere, and finally into our eyes. Each step modifies and interprets the light in a subtle, beautiful way. Our yellow sun is not less real because it is filtered. It is real precisely because it exists within this intricate web of physics and perception. The atmosphere, the sky, and our biology transform cosmic truth into human experience, blending objective reality with the emotional resonance that sunlight brings to our lives. From this cosmic perspective, we also begin to appreciate the temporal dimension of sunlight. Space reveals constancy. The sun shines white every day, regardless of our location. Yet on Earth, every moment feels unique, shaped by angle, season, humidity, and air composition. Our perception of the sun as yellow, gold, or amber is thus a living story, a daily collaboration between the universe and the observer, reminding us that reality and experience are intertwined in ways both subtle and profound. As we prepare to return our gaze to Earth, back into the shifting skies and the golden moments of dawn and dusk, we carry with us both knowledge and wonder. The sun beyond our atmosphere teaches us its true, brilliant self, but it also deepens our appreciation for the intimate, colored, and ever-changing experience of life beneath the sky. In the next chapter, we will reflect on this connection, exploring how the sun's light, shaped by Earth and perceived by human eyes, becomes a source of daily awe, meditation, and gentle inspiration. There is a quiet magic in simply noticing the sun, in observing how it graces the world with warmth, color, and life. Each day, its light unfolds differently, sculpted by the atmosphere, filtered through clouds, and interpreted by our eyes. The golden disk we see is not merely a star. It is a daily companion, a teacher, a mirror reflecting the rhythms of our lives. To watch it is to witness a dialogue between the cosmos and ourselves, a gentle reminder that even the familiar can inspire awe when we pause to perceive it fully. The sun is both universal and intimately personal. Its photons, born in the heart of a nuclear furnace millions of kilometers away, travel through space, enter our atmosphere, and finally reach the sensitive cones in our eyes. Along the way, their journey is subtly altered, scattered, diffused, and painted by the air we breathe. This interplay is an exquisite collaboration between star, planet, and observer. What emerges is a sun that is not simply white, but golden, amber, and sometimes red colors that evoke warmth, calm, and connection. Each sunrise and sunset is an invitation to mindfulness, a call to recognize the artistry in everyday light. Even in the ordinary moments of life, sunlight transforms our perception. It glances off leaves in a park, spills across city rooftops, or dances across a quiet river. The same principles that govern scattering, wavelength, and perception apply to these small experiences, reminding us that science and beauty are inseparable. When we notice the subtle variations of color in our surroundings, the soft yellows of morning, the deep gold of late afternoon, the crimson reflections of clouds, we are witnessing the sun's influence in a deeply personal way. These moments are both scientifically remarkable and emotionally resonant, a reminder that wonder exists in the intersection of observation and imagination. The sun also offers a gentle meditation on impermanence and continuity. Each day, light rises and falls in a rhythm older than humanity, shaping time and life on Earth. Its colors shift, yet its energy remains steady. Its golden glow is ephemeral, yet its presence is constant. By observing this interplay, we are reminded that the extraordinary often hides within the ordinary. We may take sunlight for granted, but every glance upward reveals a carefully orchestrated performance of physics and perception, a reminder of the intricate beauty woven into the fabric of our world. This wonder is amplified when we consider the human dimension of perception. Our eyes and brains translate scattering, wavelength, and brightness into a language of color and warmth. The sun is simultaneously a physical object and a psychological experience, a convergence of cosmic reality and personal interpretation. Understanding the science behind the yellow sun enhances this perception rather than diminishing it. We see the collaboration of nature and biology, recognize the artistry of the atmosphere, and appreciate the gift of life-sustaining light in all its hues. Even in the midst of busy lives, noticing the sun can reconnect us to a larger perspective. Its light reminds us of the cycles of day and night, the turning of the seasons, and the vast distances traveled by every photon before it warms our skin. Its golden glow is a subtle, constant presence that links us to Earth, to space, and to every human who has ever looked upward and marveled. The sun is at once ordinary and extraordinary, a daily wonder that sustains life and nourishes imagination. There is also a quiet encouragement in this understanding. The yellow sun reminds us to slow down, to pay attention, to be present. Each sunrise offers a fresh beginning, each sunset a moment of reflection. The colors of the sky, shaped by scattering, air, and perception, invite contemplation and gratitude. In this light, we find a connection not only to the sun itself but to the broader world, to the rhythms of nature, and to the shared experience of humanity beneath the same sky. The sun's daily presence also offers a metaphor for resilience and constancy. Though clouds may obscure it, and though we may move through shadows and storms, the sun continues to shine, its light persistent and unwavering. By understanding the mechanisms that shape its appearance, how scattering, wavelength, and perception create the yellow disk we see, we gain a sense of clarity about the interplay between reality and perspective, constancy and change, cosmic truth and human experience. Tonight, as the sun dips below the horizon, leaving behind the rich palette of twilight, we carry forward both knowledge and wonder. We have traced photons from the sun's core to our eyes, followed the subtle transformations through the atmosphere, explored human perception, and marveled at the colors that ancient civilizations revered. In doing so, we have learned that the sun's yellow glow is more than a mere color. It is the product of a cosmic journey, a planetary filter, and the intricate interpretation of our own senses. It is science, poetry, and meditation intertwined. As you prepare to close your eyes, consider the sun as both teacher and companion. Notice the way its light has shifted throughout the day, the warmth it brings, the colors it paints across the sky. Reflect on the delicate balance of physics, biology, and perception that allows the sun to appear yellow, amber, and golden to your eyes. And in this quiet observation, find gratitude, peace, and wonder. Every day, the sun gives us this gift, its light, its warmth, and its colors, and every day we have the opportunity to notice and appreciate it fully. As night slowly falls and the sun retreats beyond the horizon, leaving the world bathed in the soft hues of twilight, we pause to reflect on the journey we've shared. Tonight, we discovered why the sun appears yellow from Earth, yet shines in truth with all the colors of the spectrum. We traced its light from the depths of its nuclear core, across the vast expanse of space, through the layers of our atmosphere, and finally into the intricate machinery of human vision. Along the way, we explored scattering, wavelength, perception, culture, and history, finding wonder in every moment. There is a quiet beauty in understanding the sun's color. Science does not strip the world of its magic. It reveals the subtle, invisible forces that shape the everyday miracles around us. Each golden sunrise, every amber afternoon, and every crimson sunset is a reminder that the universe is both vast and intimately connected to our perception. The yellow glow of the sun is a testament to collaboration. The star itself, the atmosphere that envelopes our planet, and the delicate interpretation by our eyes and brains. It is a daily miracle, a living story of light, air, and perception unfolding in real time. As you reflect on these truths, notice how they mirror life itself. The sun is constant, yet ever-changing in appearance, shaping our experience without asking for attention, teaching patience through its rhythms. The colors we see, warm, soft, and comforting, invite mindfulness, reminding us to slow down and notice the small wonders around us. Every shaft of light filtering through trees, every glow reflecting on water, every subtle shift in the sky is part of the same cosmic dance we explored tonight. Science and poetry coexist here, intertwined in a meditation that honors both understanding and awe. The journey also invites gratitude. Our perception of the sun is uniquely human, yet it connects us to the broader rhythms of Earth and the cosmos. Ancient civilizations revered the sun for its golden light, its life-giving warmth, and its guiding presence. Modern science shows us the truth of its white brilliance, while we continue to experience the amber and yellow tones that inspire emotion and reflection. In this balance between objective reality and subjective perception, we find a gentle reminder that wonder often exists where knowledge and observation meet. Tonight, as you prepare to drift into sleep, carry this awareness with you. Remember the photons traveling across millions of miles, the atmosphere shaping their journey, and the eyes and brain that translate them into a golden Sunday. Let this knowledge deepen your sense of connection to the sky above, to the cycles of day and night, and to the small, miraculous moments that unfold every day. Allow the colors of light to linger in your mind, softening the edges of thoughts and inviting a sense of calm. If this journey through light and wonder brought you peace, clarity, or simply a moment of gentle awe, I invite you to continue this exploration with us. Subscribe to The Thoughtful Night for more softly told stories of science, nature, and the cosmos. Comment below with your favorite sky colors, and share from where you are watching, letting us know how the sun or twilight paints your own world. Every observation, every shared moment, helps build a quiet community of wonder, curiosity, and calm reflection. And now, as the sky darkens and stars begin to appear, imagine the sun resting just beyond the horizon, its light traveling unseen through the night, a promise of warmth and color waiting for the new day. Breathe deeply, feel the quiet presence of the universe around you, and let the memory of golden light guide you into a restful, peaceful sleep. Tonight, we have explored not just the sun, but the subtle, interconnected dance of light, perception, and human experience. Sleep with the knowledge that the yellow sun is both real and a reflection of your perception, a gentle reminder that the world is alive with color, beauty, and wonder. May this understanding bring calm, curiosity, and quiet joy as you drift deeper into the night, and may tomorrow greet you with the soft, golden light of a sun waiting to be seen anew.